She's so beautiful. I'm in love with this 女優さん.
What were you so absorbed in what you're watching?
It's a new TV drama.
Ah, I've heard of it. The popular mystery drama, right?
Yeah, my favorite 女優さん is starring in it. The episode just ended. That was fun. I believe that the actual suspect in the perfect crime was the ex-husband. I can't wait for next week's new episode.
The word 女優, actress, which Piko said might be a bit outdated.
What? Is that so?
I'm afraid so. More and more words are no longer used when speaking, especially on TV.
Really? I want to know more of them.
Okay. Today, let me introduce 10 Japanese words that are becoming obsolete. 1. Female occupation names. This refers to occupational names that intentionally emphasize the fact they are women in their occupations. For example, 女優, which means actress that Piko used earlier. 女 in 女優, actress refers to woman and you refers to actor here.
But they are both male and female actors. Do you need to emphasize the female side?
You're right. That's why, these days, both female and male actors are commonly referred to as 俳優, which is a gender-neutral way to say actors or even performers. Similarly, female doctors were called 女医 for female doctor. On the other hand, you don't call male doctors 男医 to refer to male doctor, right?
It isn't necessary to stress about the fact that the doctor is a woman, I think.
I think so too. I think that because people had a preconceived notion that doctors were usually men and nurses were usually women. Apart from these, the term ほぼ for female kindergarten teacher came to be just called 保育士 kindergarten teacher now, and 看護婦 to refer to female nurses. But now, everyone understands what 看護師 nurse is by job description.
This is probably because, unlike 女医 for female doctors, kindergarten teachers and nurses were thought to be mostly occupations, generally for women, right?
2. Male occupation name. Contrary to the previous example, there are expressions that are masculine occupation names, even though it is an occupation that also employs women. In the Japanese language, there are words called foreign loan words that came from the Western world. Word changes in the English-speaking world have also affected loan words in the Japanese language. For example, businessman for businessman is now called business person to say business person.
This may be due to the influence of the days when men worked outside and most women did the housework at home in the olden times.
I think so too. A lot of women we know are working now. Also, waiter for waiter has changed their term to hold staff. That means whole staff. 3. サラブレッド
Salabretto or thoroughbred talks about horses, right?
You're right. It describes a pedigree of a horse that runs very fast, or of animals that are pure breeds. There is still no problem with this word being used in horse racing. However, if you use this term for humans, it's quite programmatic.
Why? Because humans aren't horses?
No, not for that reason. When used on humans, it indicates that their parents or one parent are on the top of their careers. It's very classist. For example, if you say, she is a thoroughbred athlete, it is used when she is a first-class athlete and her parents are also first-class athletes. He is a political thoroughbred means that his parents are famous politicians or he belongs to a political dynasty. I'm not familiar with the field of horse racing, but it seems that the pedigree of the horse is really important. In other words, it is not an exaggeration to say that the pedigree has great significance.
It's a cruel world where your life is decided by what kind of parents you have.
That's why recently we have to stop using it to describe people. Because it leads to a pro-eugenics mindset. It is used to discriminate.
I see. No one has control over how, where, and to whom they were born to.
4. 処女作 Virgin Maiden work 処女作 to refer to maiden work means the first work. For example, a writer's first published book is called 処女作 or maiden work.
I've always thought this was a weird expression. Why describe a work like a non-experienced woman? It's too graphic. How rude. How weird.
Definitely. And you don't call someone's first work 童貞作 or men's virginity work, do you? I totally agree with this word change, as this is too vulgar or improper. It is now called 第一作目 first work, and so on. For English speakers, they call it the debut work or debut piece. 5. 肌色 skin color. 肌色 or skin color means the color beige.
What's wrong with this?
There are different skin tones for different races and ethnicities, right? So to say skin color equal our normal skin color seems to go against the idea of diversity. And it's also not a proper term technically. In fact, I heard that there was some complaint about innerwear labeled as skin color found in a store. It should have been skin tone. As a result, the company was forced to recall all the products. After that, it seemed that it was labeled as beige.
That's quite a lot of trouble.
When I was a kid, I used to use skin color crayons and colored pencils. But now that label of skin color has disappeared, and we are using more up-to-date color names. 6. Words with ya attached to occupations. Can you think of any occupation that have ya in them?
Well, yaoya for greengrocer.
Yes, and
There are also sakanaya for fishmongers and nikuya for butchers.
good. There are words that have fallen out of use.
Really? Why?
It seems that the reasons are that this term makes it seem like they are looked down upon.
Huh? Really? I don't agree with that.
Even if you disagree, these names are slowly being changed. For example, yaoya for greengrocers has changed to seikaten, which sounds quite different, and sakanaya for fishmongers changed into sengyoten. Nikuya for the butchers changed into seinikuten, and honya for bookstore keeper changed to shoten.
I see. they started using the word 10 instead of ya. But I like the name with ya because it feels and sounds more familiar.
I agree. This is just my opinion, but I think it's because 10 has a larger and more specialized image than ya. But I still like to say the occupation names with ya.
By the way, what is izakaya or Japanese bar called? Should I read it now as izaka-ten?
You can still call it izakaya. No one knows or will understand what the name izaka-ten means.
It's difficult.
7. Half.
Half is a person born from an international marriage, right?
Yeah. For example, he's half Japanese and half French. So technically, it makes sense.
Why is half no longer used?
That's because it has a negative connection of not a full-fledged person, in the sense of what half means. Besides, you don't need to mention your roots, right?
I see. So what should I say?
Now you can call it double, or mixed. But now that double is becoming a term, a lot of English speakers are going to be very confused by it for sure. 8. Mecca.
Mecca is the name of a city in Saudi Arabia and is considered a holy place for Islam, right?
How smart of you! Mecca is also used as a metaphor, as a core place of interest of a certain field, such as academics or the arts. It refers to a place people yearn to visit relating to their fields of interest. For example, Akihabara in Tokyo is called the Mecca of otaku culture, right?
But why shouldn't Mecca be used as a metaphor anymore?
This is because Mecca is a name of a real place and related to a certain religious group.
What? But it's used in a good way, right? If you can't use real names of places, there aren't many places we could use as metaphors, like if I say Venice of the East, what should we do?
Don't ask me. I'm not an authority about this. 9. Gaijin, foreigner. Gaijin as a word. Jin stands for person, of gai for outside, so it means foreigner. It was used to mean people who are not Japanese, people who are different from us, separate from us.
It has an exclusive and a negative feel to it. I kinda get why.
Yes, therefore, they are now called gaikokujin, which means a person from overseas, or a person from a foreign place. 10. 後進国 undeveloped countries.
It's an obviously demeaning word. When you look down on countries that are less developed than yours, that's not a nice take.
Yes, that's why we call them developing countries now.
I think Japan is also a developing country.
Oh? Many would argue that Japan is a developed country, I think.
Only in the economic field. We've still got a long ways to go in our gender gap issues and in the animal protection laws.
Piko, I don't mean to be rude, but you sound so smart. You are like a scholar now.
There's a wisdom found in the animal kingdom. We have no words.
Wow, I'm speechless. Here, I presented 10 Japanese terms that are likely to disappear soon, for better or worse. Let me know what you think.
I didn't know words could change. Language is closely linked to culture and society. So when the times change, the language evolves too. So scientific. While I agree with some of the changes, there are others that I find unnecessary.
Me too. Well, what can we do?
Are there any words you would like to change?
There is. It's the kanji for 嫉妬 for the word jealousy.
Oh? Why?
Look at this word carefully. Among the kanji used to write 嫉妬 for jealousy, there are two kanji characters of onna or female, but men get jealous too, right? I'd like to at least have one kanji for onna female and one for otoko for male. It's unfair. I want equality.
That's a difficult request, but I see what you mean.